Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is episode 16, A Year in Review. I'm Sara.
I'm Tessa, and this is Checked Out with Green Hills Public Library.
This is arguably going to be one of my favorite episodes, not to jinx it way ahead of time, but I really love a Year in the Review episode.
Agreed. It was so much fun to do last year, and I feel like I've streamlined my thoughts a little bit more this time. So hopefully it makes more sense. Do you want to start with some basics?
At least that makes one of us. My thoughts are never streamlined, so this will be fun. But yeah, we can start with some basics.
All right. For your 2025 reading challenge, what was your goal?
So if you have been here long enough, you know my goal is there is no goal. It is just one.
But it's also a lie because you have a goal.
I usually do have an internal goal that I try to reach, but on paper it is one because I get anxious and caught up if I'm behind, which a lot of these trackers seem to tell us. This year though, I really didn't. I was going to say let me just stick to what I did last year, which was 100, 130, 120, something like that. But I kind of went into it and I'm like, hold on, I'm reading really quick. I'm reading a lot of things I love. Things are just kind of working out. So one seemed to work for me. I guess I would say maybe 175 because 200 is really pushing it a lot of the time. And I'm scared of 200. I feel that if I tell people, oh, I read 200 books this year, they will look at me like, oh, so you don't have a job or something. So let's just go with 175, and that's also my stretch goal too.
Okay. My goal for the past several years had been 150, and I was pretty consistently hitting it. This year, just for fun, I set it at 155 just to see. I feel like this year was I know you agree with this too, kind of crazy for as much as I was consuming over what my usual pace was, but it didn't feel like that to me at least. I've read 162 books at the time of recording, which is December 1st. But I didn't feel a big difference in the amount that I was consuming. If anything, I feel like I was consuming less because I really took a, no pun intended, pause from audiobooks this year. Last year, I was pretty consistently listening to them, and that just wasn't the journey that I went on this year. I don't really know why. Nothing was staying in my brain. So for having read at least 12 over what I was reading last year, I feel like that is an interesting stat for me.
That's really interesting. It's interesting that you took a step back from audiobooks. I didn't even really notice that you had done so many audiobooks last year, or that you had done more than maybe what is the usual for you, because I just know you to be such a physical reader or an e-reader. I, on the other hand, I'm an audiobook girly. And then for the total that I've read so far this year as of today, it's 177. And then I think a pretty evenly split though between reading with my eyes and reading with my ears. According to my story graph, they are very similar. I think it's maybe 48-52 or something.
That's shocking to me just because I know how much you audiobook. And I mean, I guess I know how much you read with your eyes too, but for the last several months, you've been almost exclusively an audio girly.
Which makes my swap right now even crazier because I'm not audiobooking anything today, guys. It's really challenging for me, actually. But I've been reading so many books physically lately, and that's a huge pivot from my usual style. And something I want to continue. So that's a goal. I know we're not at our reading goals or just general goals yet, but I'll put it out there now that that's one of my goals for 2026 is to read physically more. And I think it'll be doable, especially if I am reading more intentionally, which is another one of my goals. Again, I'm really jumping the gun here and throwing out all of my goals.
Do you want to do goals first?
I think we can just do goals.
Okay, great.
Perfect. But yeah, another one of my goals is to read more intentionally. And I think that I did a little bit of that this year, and that's why I had such fantastic books. I had so many 5-star reads this year, and it made picking out books to talk about today and to recommend today so easy because I loved so many of them. But that's another one of my goals. So 2 of my goals. Tessa, what are your goals for 2026?
I do have a pretty solid goal, and that is for me to catch up and continue series that I've started instead of constantly starting new series. The problem with that, though, is I want to read new releases. So when I'm reading new releases, I end up starting a trillion series. But this last month, I would say this year in general, I've been pretty good at least a 2-book in a series situation. But I did some calculating, and the amount of series that I've read or that I've started this year that I'm not caught up with is like 65.
That was a way larger number than I was expecting, but I know that you live in the fantasy realm.
Yeah, exactly.
And so new releases for you in fantasy, most of them are going to be part of a series.
Mhm.
So it does make sense, but wow.
It's a shocking number for sure.
No, it definitely is.
Another goal I have that kind of goes along with series, fantasy, whatever. I want to be keeping a better record of the stories that I'm consuming. Specifically with series, I often, when I go back to them, this is why I don't continue them often, I read so many books that by the time I get to a sequel of something that I read as a new release, it's been at least a year, sometimes 2, sometimes more, and I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, I've read 1,800 other worlds and done 100 other things, and there is a website that I use, but it's also subject to availability. Not everything I read is going to have it. It's called Recaptains, and it is like crowdsourced. Like, you can submit summaries and stuff to them, and they're usually very good, but I just need to do that like for myself. I need to like not necessarily take notes while reading it, or maybe just like I just need to summarize it when I'm done with it in a way that I know the important stuff that was in my brain will be there. And I think that that will contribute to helping me with my goal of continuing series.
I like that. And I kind of have a similar goal that, along with reading more intentionally and like what I'm reading and choosing to read, also how I'm reading it, and then the review that I leave at the end. I tend to gravitate a lot to reviews that highlight tropes in the books that I'm reading, or character traits, or giving a short summary of the book. And I really want to get into that habit because I would love to look back at my like long review or details of this book to help me reevaluate how I feel about it, because I tend to do that a lot where I'll read something, I'll rate it, write my little cute punny review and have it out there for my friends, but then months later I'll go back and I'll be like, wait, hold on, how did I like actually feel about this book? And so I want to put more thought into the reviews that I'm writing, even if I'm not posting them on Goodreads or other book platforms, just record for myself. And along with that, because I'm in this anxious state right now where I'm worried that Goodreads is going to close and I'm going to lose all my reviews, which I understand. I could just download my data. I did that, guys. Okay. But I want to also come back to having my own personal record of these books that I've read, and ratings and character traits and things that I loved and things that I didn't like about these books, just so that I always have them and I know that they're always going to be in my possession. That's one of my goals for 2026. So we'll see how that fares.
Yeah, I agree. My reviews on Goodreads tend to be very like reactionary and give little to no substance on like what worked, what didn't work, what happened. And I know that they have like book journals and stuff, but like, I don't know. Maybe I'll get one. Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll just do it on my own. But yeah, I think that's what needs to happen with how many things I consume. Sometimes when I go to talk about books on the podcast, I'm like, but actually, what even happened in that? Like, when I have to go to pitch something, I'm like, their parents are dead. There's magic. That's about all I got. And I want to definitely be better about that.
I'm glad we'll be able to keep each other accountable for that then in 2026. Moving on from our goals, let's talk about some of our favorites for this year. I know that we have a few books, movies and TV shows, songs and artists. So I think we should get into it with books.
Okay, so I have a caveat to mine. Two of mine
already starting.
Two of mine on this list are simply a full series. But if you wanted me to separate it out into like the books, I don't think that is the same to me, especially because both series, we've talked about them before, we're talking about them again. I read them back to back to back to back.
I think I know the two series
Go ahead.
that you're talking about.
Go ahead.
And I'll give this to you for sure. And I think I don't know what the series is called. It's The City of Gods and Monsters and then the Book of Azrael ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have favorites within the series, but like the actual series themselves, like the whole through line story is what I would consider to be favorites. So we'll get those out of the way. I have it separated into other things too, but we've talked about them.
And you know what? I think that's okay because series, like the whole story arc takes place over multiple books. So
exactly,
it's one story at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I'm going to say something controversial yet brave. If I had not read all of the books that were out at the time for those series so close together, I don't really think any of them would have been on the top. Like if I had just read the first book of both of them or the first two, I don't think it would really put me at the top. I think that what makes it so high up for me and such a favorite for me is the entire story. So I broke the rules, but it was with good intentions.
It's allowed this time. For me, in no particular order, folks.
Yeah, agree. I just had to get those out of the way before you yelled at me for them.
Wasn't gonna yell, but in no particular order, the first one I have on my list is It's Different This Time by Joss Richard, which I'm not sure if I've talked about on the podcast yet. I love this book. I rave about this book all the time online and in the library. I think that for a debut, which I have quite a few debuts on here, it's so well written. So there are these two friends that are living together for a period of time in New York, and they both have feelings for each other, but neither one is really disclosing those feelings or acting on them. And then things kind of come to a head, and our female character moves away, and then years later she returns to New York, and it turns out that the apartment that she lived in with her friend is now in her and his name, and so they must live together again to determine what they want to do with the home, and those feelings are kind of coming back up to the surface. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy a second chance romance so much, and most of these books on here are second chance romance. I also just love that it takes place in New York in the fall. The setting is a major character in the book.
You were, in fact, a second chance romance girl this year. I think you really learned that about yourself.
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to throw out one that we've talked about before for sure, and it's something that we've both read, but Sunrise on the Reaping.
That's on my list too.
It's so good.
So good, and
there is something uncanny valley about the trailer of the movie. The teaser, whatever.
There is something that is slightly off, and I can't pinpoint it, but yeah.
And I think it's the way the games look, but I think in the moment when you're actually watching the movie, it won't feel that way. Because if you really think about it, like, the uncanny valley happens with the Catching Fire arena too. So I'm going to give it its best shot. I think the casting of Hey Mitch, we did really good there. It's just so good. And I think about it a lot, and I'm sad.
I do too. I think about it often, and I'm really excited for the movie to be coming out in this time next year. So catch us not here. We're going to be at the theater. I'm just kidding.
No, we will be.
So I also have Sunrise on the Reaping on my list. I will cross that one off. My next one is another second chance romance and another debut. It is You Between the Lines by Katie Naiman, and I have raved about this many times on the podcast.
I cannot believe that was this year.
It was.
Like, this year feels like it was a blink of an eye, but that feels like you read that so long ago.
It released in February, and I think I read it in January.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It feels like it was at least I don't even know. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I really loved it. It took me back to my roots of being in a writing program and feeling imposter syndrome, which is something I feel all the time. And this is not a therapy session. And so, yeah. So You Between the Lines, really enjoyed it. Katie Naiman is coming out with something else for 2026. And I'm hopeful that I will love that just as much as I loved this.
Is there like a title, cover,
There's a title
Okay.
and a blurb.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, yeah. Do you know like what trope or anything?
I want to say like friends to lovers, but also like second chance. They play a game of like truth or dare, like choose life things for each other every New Year's.
Interesting. Yeah. I think friends to lovers is boring.
Okay. I mean, as long as you don't say it about second chance romance, then we're good.
No. I know one of the ones that is going to come up on this list, and of yours, and I have thoughts and opinions on that one too. I want to talk about a book that I just finished last week, but really like 20 pages in, I was like, 5-star, absolutely. Finished it and was just so pleased with myself for putting it off for so long, because it was originally indie published, then it got trad published, then it got trad published as a hardcover, and the second book has just been like in the ether until they've run through all of those things, and now the second book comes out I think in March. So I really timed this very well for myself, and it is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. I have seen online there's a lot of people that love it. There's some people that don't vibe with it. They are mad that there's a glossary that's like several pages long. I don't know. Don't read it.
I actually would love to have a glossary in a fantasy.
It's so good.
Because I feel like that would also help me ease into the world, which is something I have trouble with.
Yeah, no, it's so good. It's not confusing. I think that people see how long the glossary is and are like, wow, this must be like very... And don't get me wrong, it is a very fantasy-forward fantasy romance, but I would say that the plot and the romance progress in similar pacing, so it feels very even. It is about our main character, Rave, and she is... I don't want to say... no, she is. She's an assassin, but don't look at me like that. It's not Throne of Glass. Okay, thank you.
I didn't say anything.
She lives in this world where she's taken it upon herself to like join the rebels, and she takes out unsavory people in their community, mostly men. And she's really closed herself off to everyone. She gets caught up in something right at the beginning. Someone sees her do what she's doing. You think it's fine, it's not fine. And then everything that you think you know about what the book is about changes from there. So I'll leave it there. Some important things to know. Dragons. We love a dragon. Another thing, the dragons, they're all dead for the most part, and they are, hence the title, When the Moon Hatched. When dragons are dying, they calcify when they fly up in the sky, so their moons are quite literally dragons. And as different things with magic in their world, and politics and everything that happens, dragons can fall. It's such an interesting premise. It's a way I've never seen dragons done. And there's like a plot twist that, like, come on, you can see. I don't really think that she was coming out here to be like, this is the craziest plot twist of all time. I've seen people be very shocked about it. Was not a shocking event for me, but it was so good. It's what I wish more fantasy romance was doing in making their world super unique.
I'm so glad that you liked that. I knew that you would. When you started reading it, I was like, oh my God, I know so many people that love this. And so I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. It is on my TBR, but I know she's really long. I know that, like you said, she's kind of fantasy forward. But the way that you just explained the whole situation with the dragons is really calling to me right now.
I have seen people say that listening to the audiobook helped them understand things more. So maybe like an immersive read with that. And like, it's long, but I mean, I think it's sub 600 pages. Like,
okay.
It's not super long. I mean, it's longer than your romance books usually are, but you've read long things.
Yeah.
Hellbent is not short.
No.
And you read that in like 2 days.
Yeah. It's just about being...
Read it on your Kindle. I'm pretty sure it's still on Kindle Unlimited.
Oh,
But read it on your Kindle and you won't ever know how long it is.
okay. Yeah, it's about like, I don't know, psyching myself out sometimes. But I think maybe an immersive read for fantasy would be good for me. So I'll try that.
Also, read it, and if you're confused, ask me.
Yeah, that's helpful too.
Yeah.
Because I always need to talk things out with someone.
Yeah, you do. But it's good for me. It exercises my memory. So
it's a win-win. Yeah. My next book, and I think you have some words to say about this, but this is the book that, you know how people say, oh, you need to go and touch grass? I say, oh, you need to read The X-Files by Jessica Joyce, because this book really, truly just changed the way that I think about a lot of romance books that I read, and has set the bar so incredibly high for my 5 stars that this is like a 6-star read for me. This is my favorite book of the year, by the way, if you haven't caught on yet.
It's taken some convincing from me for her to actually say those words. I did something crazy, and I read a contemporary romance willingly. I couldn't keep living in a world where you like make me read the quotes and like watch you cry about it and not know the full context. I was worried that it wouldn't carry as much weight because I do know a lot of the quotes. Wrong. Read it, the whole thing on a flight, was like quite literally, that book is a mess. I was like, but folding pages in
a good way.
I was like screaming, crying, throwing up. The plane is landing and they're like, gather your belongings. And I'm like, no, I have 3 pages left. It was a situation. It's so good. It's so good. It reads so real. So maybe I'm like you. Maybe a second chance romance is what does it for me, because there is so much at stake with their history. It was a 5-star contemporary romance read. And so I think with both of us saying this, you should try her. You should read it.
Yeah, I would say more, but I don't have anything left in me. I read the quotes again last night and cried. So like, let's be real here.
I'll pitch it, but I think you need a minute.
I do.
So the premise of The X-Files is we have Georgia and Eli. They, obviously it's second chance. They were together for a long time. They have mutual friends, and they have pretty much convinced their friends that they are amicable. But then their friend is getting married, and they are both the best people of the wedding, and they're expected to like work together to do this. Georgia doesn't let him. Eli is a workaholic. They're a mess. But then they are forced to have to solve all these issues because it is truly a wedding disaster going on. And I couldn't find a problem with them. Like, yeah, they broke up. The reason for their breakup is real and is something that people like go through. But I couldn't like find it in me to be mad at either of them. And like they really couldn't either. Like they were both each other's issues to a certain extent. And she had things she could have communicated. He could have done, like he could have shown up better. Love them. Just love them.
And I think that that's what makes it so good, is that it is so real and realistic. And with second chance romances, I think it's kind of hard to root for 2 characters to be together again when it didn't work out the first time. But in this instance, you see the way that it doesn't work out, and you see that that's such a real thing that happens, and it doesn't mean that there's no love anymore between those 2 people. It just means that it's different. And so it was very easy to root for them to be together.
And the paper rings.
And the paper rings.
Listen, I have seen those quotes so many times. Why didn't it click in my little brain? I was just as shocked as she was.
It's good.
It's really good. The last one that I want to go into more detail about before we just rapid fire some that we really enjoyed this year is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. This could, in fact, be my favorite book of the year. Hard to say. If you ask me on a different day, I might say something completely different. But this is by the author of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I really, really enjoyed those, but I feel like you could tell how much Rachel Gillig as an author grew when she was writing The Night and the Moth. She's a seer in this, it's like a nunnery convent kind of a thing, where they drown her and she sees different omens. And they drown, like, a king comes there to know if he's going to be a good ruler, and she drowns and sees these omens. And there's a gargoyle, not a gargoyle romance.
Thank you for the
Like,
clarification.
truly, he is like a stone gargoyle that moves. His name is Bartholomew. He is so good. It will be a duology. Love that she does duologies and doesn't try to drag things out longer than they need to be. And I just thought that this world and these characters were so much more fleshed out than One Dark Window was. And the cover is good. And if you've seen the cover, that is a real photo. It's not art. They like actually did that photo shoot, which is crazy.
The cover is very good. That's also one that's on my TBR.
That would be very easy for you to get into.
Okay.
And it's not
I
long.
like that. I like that a lot. I love to hear that.
All right. Rapid fire. You start us off.
All right. Starting us off, I have The Favorites by Elaine Fargo. Chef's Kiss. Love them.
I have The Nightingale by Kristen and Hannah. It's a curveball, but it's worth it.
Next for me is Saga, the compendium. Everything that's out for the Saga series by Brian K. Vaughan. Absolutely loved this. I have not read a comic that is so gripping the way that this had a chokehold on me.
I'm going to go with The Wolf King. I read this right before it was announced that it was getting traditionally published. It's one of the fastest reading fantasy romance that I read this year. And it's fun. It's nothing too serious.
I just got a copy of that, so I'm glad to hear that it was good. The next one I have is Caught Up by Liz Tom Forty. Classic single dad sports romance. Of course, it's going to be on there.
I'm going to go rogue here. This is a nonfiction. I don't read nonfiction. When I read it, I don't rate it. But I had to with this one, and it's Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. Shout out to Sara on that one. She did make me read it, and it was absolutely worth it. Read the audiobook if you enjoy an audiobook, because she reads it herself.
Yeah, that one is so good. Next up, I have Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. This just was a beautiful closure to the Skyland series. All three of those books are fantastic. And honestly, might as well just throw all three of them on here as a whole series. Pull a Tessa on us. I loved them so much. I devoured them within like 2 weeks.
I'm going to go with Alchemize by Sen Lin Yu.
For me, it's a collection of short stories by Rachel Harrison, Bad Dolls.
So good.
This is
Her
my
best
favorite.
work.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing that Rachel Harrison has ever written. I really
And
love
you've read them all.
I've read all of her things except her debut, the thriller.
The
one.
Return.
Yeah.
Terror at the Gates by Scarlett Sinclair. I know you didn't love her, but I did.
My last one is one that is on this list and one that is probably going to be on this list when I finish it. And it is Savor It by Tara Dewitt. And the one that will be on this list is the second book in this interconnected series, and that's Left of Forever. I'm currently reading it right now, and I do believe it will be one of my favorites this year.
My last one is, in fact, a similar situation. I'm currently reading the sequel to The Will of the Many. It's called The Strength of the Few by James Islington. I can't imagine this being anything less than a 5-star. I'm 250 pages in. Every word I've read so far has been 5 stars.
Woohoo! Next, we're going to rapid fire some of our 2026 most anticipated reads. Tessa, why don't you start us off?
I'm gonna just say 2 right off the bat because I've already talked about it. Ballad of Falling Dragons, which is a sequel to When the Moon Hatched, and The Knave and the Moon, which is the sequel to The Night and the Moth.
For me, it's Unbound by Peyton Corinne, which is the third book in the Undone series. This is probably my most anticipated of 2026 across everything that's coming out. I'm very pumped for that. And then No Matter What by Cara Stone. This is a second chance marriage in turmoil situation that I'm very excited for.
Deadbeat by Lee Bardugo. They're in the Ninth House series.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Starside by Alex Astor. She's the author of Lightlark, but Starside is an adult, like her adult debut fantasy romance. Very excited about that.
That's on my list too. I also have a Liz Tom 40. This is in her own league. It follows a romance that was kind of hinted at in her Windy City series, and so I'm excited to kind of get these two characters' love story.
This one is kind of a curveball, but Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy. I really enjoyed her memoir, and I'm very excited to see what she can do in like the fiction space.
For me, it's going to be And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. This is her second book in the Heartstrings series, and I'm so excited. I have it sitting in my Kindle right now, and I really want to start it, but I'm going to wait closer to release date.
Do you want to go movies and TV shows? We've discussed that we don't have enough to separate these out.
I've got 3 here, people, okay? I don't remember movies and TV the way that I do my books. Another goal for 2026 is being more aware of what I'm watching, okay? So I've got Dancing with the Stars. It's a really good season. The Pit, it comes out again in January, season 2, and if you haven't watched season 1, you guys got to get on it. It's so good, one of my favorite medical dramas. And, of course, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because I love reality TV and drama that's not my own.
My movies, K-pop Demon Hunters. I can't not mention it.
Yes, wait and soon.
So good. It's so good.
I love them.
Yeah. I'm so glad we had there's something that happens within the first like 20 minutes of that movie, and we had the exact same reaction. Like, I had sent a text to my sister-in-law that Sarah sent the exact same text to me when she was watching it. If you haven't seen it, don't be silly. Companion, that was like a weird thriller, psychological, with like a weird sci-fi element to it. It has Sophie Thatcher, who is the young Nat in Yellow Jackets. Another honorable mention is Yellow Jackets. We really lose the plot after the first season, but that's okay. And then my last one is I was deathly ill with some food poisoning or something, and I watched an obscene amount of The Walking Dead. And when I say obscene, like, I'm talking like season and a half a day.
You did love The Walking Dead.
And I haven't touched it since. But what I loved at the time, she was good.
Moving on to music and musicians. It's very similar from last year.
Agreed.
For me, it's going to be Noah Kahan, Taylor Swift, Hozier, and we added a new one this year, Olivia Dean. Love, love, love her songs.
You do love her. Mine, Noah Kahan. Actually, maybe mine slightly changed. I don't remember what I said. I know Noah was there. He will be there till the day I die. Jensen McRae, saw her open for Noah Kahan last year. Her album, I Don't Know How But They Found Me, came out this year. So good. Highly recommend it. Went into like a Fleetwood Mac hole. I do that every few years. So I gotta shout them out. And then I think my last one would be Youngblood. He's like an honorary love of mine. He's my wife's favorite artist, and so by proxy, I listen to him a lot, and his album that came out this year, Idols, is truly some of his best work.
As far as songs, I loved Slide by Doechii. So good. Party for You, Charlie XCX.
Repeat in your car for months.
I love that song. 30 for 30 by SZA. That is just so good. You Are Who She Loves by Mount Joy. That one is linked to the X-Files for me, so of course it's on here. This one was a little crazy, and it's Yukon by Justin Bieber. I just feel that
I only like the sped up version of it that's on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I listened to the other one, don't get me wrong, but that's the one that like scratches the itch in my brain.
For me, I just can have it on the background on replay while I'm reading because...
You're doing that with Yukon? That's insane.
No, because it's like, it's quiet.
Okay.
Like, it just is like an ambiance music
Yes.
for me. And then Someone New by Hosier, I really liked. Oh, and A Couple Minutes by Olivia Dean. That song is so amazing and I love it. That's it. I can go on.
My top song of the year would have to be Mother Wound by Jensen McCrae. Everywhere, Everything. She deserves a shout out every day that I'm alive. Love her. This is crazy. And you're not. Am I going to say I am? There's a song. The one man is a country artist. The other one is just like simply a screamo band. Hold my hand, okay? It's called Demon or Ghost. She's so good.
I can keep spitfiring.
Do you know what lives on my on repeat rent free? Accidentally in Love by the Counting Crows. Love that song.
So good.
A song that I couldn't stop listening to, wouldn't say it's a favorite, Happened to Me by Russell Dickerson. I know you know.
I do know that one.
It's good.
I do know that
Is
one.
it?
For me, it's Father Figure by Taylor Swift. That was on a lot.
It was. That's really true. Little White Lies by One Direction. She researched for me.
Oh,
Mhm.
goodie.
There was a lot of, this year with planning a wedding, there was a lot of listen to this song to see if we want it to play at the reception. Listen to this slowed down instrumental version of this popular song for the dinner playlist. So my Spotify Wrapped is going to be strange, is what I know. But just know that if you take anything away from what I'm saying here, listen to Jensen McCrae.
For me, it's listen to Olivia Dean. But don't buy her concert tickets because it was really hard for me to get some.
But you got them, so they can buy them now.
I did. So you guys can buy them now. It's fine.
And I think we just quickly wanted to talk about hobbies. Both of us, I think, we're on a journey this year with finding hobbies that are not just reading.
Yeah, and some of us are still on that journey. Okay.
So am I. My top one, we've talked about it, Legos. Love a Lego.
For me, I really got into puzzles, which is kind of crazy because I wasn't really doing them. And then I started, and now I always have one going, and they change with the season, everyone. So they're very cute.
Another one for me is diamond painting. Really been doing that a lot recently. It's a hobby that you can do without needing any skill. You have to focus enough that you're not like thinking about other things, but I can also listen to an audiobook while I do it. I can listen to music. I can watch a movie or a TV show, still be like doing my hobby and not feeling like I'm missing anything from either of them. If you want to be crafty, but you have no like painting, drawing talent on that front, try diamond painting.
Yeah, I thought that was what Legos were going to be for me, but it wasn't. I didn't really like Legos. But then I went to a book bedazzling event, and now I get it. Like, book bedazzling and diamond painting, I think, are kind of similar.
Yeah, it's almost the same thing.
Yeah. And so I have bedazzled 2 books so far and was able to watch some TV shows as I did it.
Yeah, I think you should try, like I've been doing coasters. I think you should try diamond painting coasters because it's small. You can like sit and do it in one episode of a show. And then it also has a use. You don't just have like a bunch of things sitting around.
Yeah, that's what I need, I think. I am also trying to get in the habit of making little clay things. Shout out to Tessa for supporting that. You know the little jelly cats? I want to make clay jelly cats. I saw someone online do it and I'm enamored with them.
I love it. My last one, well, I have 2, but one's not really a hobby. My last one would be coloring with alcohol markers. They're so fun because it gets so even. There's no like streaks. But I also get irritated because I go outside the line sometimes. So, and then my last thing was wedding prep. It was really stressful, but also really fun. In the moment, I was like, this is a lot. But now that it's over, what do I do?
I also really want to get into coloring with alcohol markers, and that is something for 2026. But my last one, which I don't know if this is a hobby or not, but I've been cooking so much recently. And like actually going through recipes I have saved on my Pinterest or like my TikTok saves or like even my cookbooks and making them. And I don't know.
I think it's a hobby.
Yeah, it is. But like, I don't know if I like it I think I just do it right now because I need food to survive.
Yeah, but it takes up your time and you don't hate it. So I think it's a hobby.
I think it's really fun for me to see my finished product and it actually tastes good.
True.
Which is really nice. Well, that wraps up our 2025 in review. But before we go, we did want to talk about our latest book talk book, which was I, Medusa by Ayana Gray. And I know that we both have some thoughts on it. Tessa, why don't you start us off?
Off the jump, it was a 3-star for me. I think Sarah and I's thoughts are pretty similar on it. It was a super strong start. Obviously, from the title, I'm sure you've gathered it is a retelling / just telling of the story of Medusa through Greek mythology. It starts very strong. For the first 100 or so pages, I was there. I was with her. And then it slowed down in the middle. The ending didn't feel worth it. Felt a little rushed for me. But overall, I would say, like, if you enjoy Greek mythology, if you enjoy those kinds of books, go for it. I think that the messaging of Medusa's story was there. I think that the callbacks and things to, like, the original Greek myth, I think it worked for what it was trying to do. I just wanted something more from it.
No, that's totally fair. And like you mentioned before you started, we're pretty similar on our thoughts on it. And for me, same thing. It slowed down a lot in the middle and I really had to like think about picking it up instead of just wanting it and feeling drawn to it. And the ending was rushed. I wanted us to sit a little bit more in it. I think it could have used maybe a couple 150 pages more to really flesh out the story and those characters. It read YA at times for me, which is fair because this is the author's first adult debut. And I can understand why it would be placed in adult since it deals with a lot of adult themes, since it deals with a lot of like darker themes. So I can understand that. It can get a little graphic at times. There are a few trigger warnings there, so make sure that you read through those before you pick up the book. But overall, it was pretty middle of the road for me, even though I rated it 4 stars.
Yep, I agree.
Our next book talk is going to be on Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. And this is a reread for both Tessa and I that we just wanted to do, just to dive back into this world. The Twilight movies are some of my favorite movies.
Agreed. We've talked about them at length on this podcast. And it's what, the 20th anniversary?
Yeah, this year was the 20th anniversary.
They came out with the special editions that we bought.
Yeah, we did.
So yeah, we've already started on the journey, but we're going to do a reread, give you our full thoughts, something light for the holiday season.
Yeah, and we will catch you in 2026. As always, feel free to email us your recommendations or thoughts or books that you want us to check out at ghpl@greenhillslibrary.org.
Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been episode 16, A Year in Review. I'm Tessa.
I'm Sarah, and we're checked out.